Okay, we're back. Sorry about I am sorry about that little pause. It's a shorter episode than usual, but like I have stated before, oh, where the hell am I going? Guy, can you figure out what you're doing? You know, like I've stated before, I do live in Brazil. It is hot as the dickens, and right now my AC is kind of making a weird sound, so if that gets picked up on the recording, I am truly apologized. I truly apologize. But I was literally like dripping with sweat, and I can't record under these conditions. It's too much. You know, I like for the recording to sound good, but I also like to not, you know, sweat my cojones off. Oh, I cut his tail off. I should go get that. Maybe I should get that before I finish him off here. Nice. Good timing. So I am recording this on April 8th, 2025. Which means, you know, we've had the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, and I did want to talk about it because, man, it's just like what a bummer that was. You know, I was excited about the reveal. You know, I thought other people would be. I woke up for it. I watched it. You know, I liked what was being shown. You know, I thought maybe I'd hop on Blue Sky and see some like-minded individuals sharing excitement for a new Switch. And instead, it's just like literally everyone was mad about it. Like, no one was happy about this. And look, I get it. You know, I get it. I do, truly. I'm not super duper happy about the price either. You know, I don't love the idea of Nintendo doing this really shady, you know, what Doug Bowser called variable pricing. Because I've said it multiple times in the past, right? Like, you know, variable pricing never makes it so that video games cost less. It only ever comes into play when games need to cost more, you know? And I brought this up before, like Tears of the Kingdom. Like Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. You know, that game was fine. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked it as much as I liked Breath of the Wild. It did not need to cost an extra $10. You know, on the standard sale price of Nintendo games, right? And when you live in Canada, you know, a video game after tax is $90. You know what I mean? Like, on the standard Nintendo pricing, after tax, a game is always going to be close to like $90. So Tears of the Kingdom, like being like almost over $100, was like insane. It was nuts. And it's kind of the reason why I didn't buy it right away too, right? I waited until I had enough money squirreled away that I could afford the vouchers. But like, who even knows if that's going to be a thing anymore, because Nintendo hasn't really said anything about, you know, the vouchers, and they killed the coin program for whatever reason. So like, you know, when you buy games, you got some coins to put towards a, you know, discounted price on another game, but you know, they wanted to axe that for some reason. So I don't know why. Nice. I don't know why Nintendo is just signaling to the world that they're like tired of like making it so that people can afford video games. It's like they're really like they're pricing people out of the market. It's like you can only afford Nintendo games if you're, you know, already well off, right? And that's what I mean. It's like, you know what? It's like I have very limited means, right? Like I have to be very careful with how I, when and how I purchase games, right? So it's just such a bummer to me. Oh, I did not get a frickin' feeler. I needed one. A big part of the problem with this too is that, like, the standard hunt for gores, like, you don't get that many materials because they're not really a high rank monster, like where you face them in the plot. And I used a freaking voucher. I thought I would have got more. Let's take a look. Is there one? Did anything change? No. See, this is also why I kind of don't like what they did here with this whole system. It really does feel like they kind of wanted to make this almost like a live service, because it's like you kind of just have to like rely on things to be where you need them to be, whereas a better game like Rise, just when you got high rank monsters, you got high rank monsters. When you got master rank, you got master rank monsters. It wasn't like this like, oh, there's no gore out there today, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait to go fight another different monster until hopefully at some point the gore shows up. Also, where the fuck is the Mizutsune? Like, they put it in a quest, and I did the quest, and I have not seen it show up in this world once. It's nowhere to be found. And they even put the tempered Mizutsune, like, in the monster guide. So, like, they have plans for it to be there. Part of me feels like they just forgot to put it in the game. Okay, you know what? I do need a Harambe. I wanted to try, I wanted to experiment with a new talisman to do quick sheath. And I need a Harambe for it, so let's go get that. But yeah, back to the Switch, I think, like, hardware-wise, it looks fine. Like, I'm as psyched about it as the next guy. I really just think that, like, I don't know why Nintendo is making all these really weird, boneheaded moves. Like, what are you doing, Nintendo? And then to make matters worse, you have everything that's going on in the States now that's, like, gonna make, pre-ordering this thing a problem. Not that I was ever, like, under the impression that pre-ordering this thing wasn't gonna be a problem. But it's just like, it's so weird and funny to me, because it's like, when I think back to when the Switch 1 got announced, like, it was like nothing but excitement. You know what I mean? It's like they almost did everything right on that. They teased it in the best possible way. They showed it off, really comprehensively. It was out in a pretty like fair timing window. It wasn't impossible to find. Like, it was tough when it first came out. Like, I went and got mine the day it came out, and I got, like, I think I probably got lucky with mine, right? Like, I would probably say, But they were all like, you'd go to stores, and it's like they were sold out most of the time. But I think it only took like a few months. I think by like, because it came out in what? It came out in March, and I want to say by like September, they were pretty easy to find. It wasn't like the PlayStation 5 that was just like genuinely impossible to find for a solid like 2 years after it released. But to do something like this, like, I don't know. And then you know, there's questions about whether, yeah, these games are gonna cost $90 now, like, you know, in terms of like, or like $80 starting price. And it's kind of funny to me because I've seen a lot of people, like, you know, on Blue Sky, like, with takes, you know, like, oh, like Nintendo's giving the industry the green light to start charging more for games. And I was kind of like, I don't know if Nintendo is giving them the green light. It kind of feels like these companies have just been sitting at a green light, you know, for the past, I don't know how many years, you know. Like, Nintendo isn't giving anyone the green light. The industry gave themselves the green light to do this. You know, Nintendo was just the first ones to cross, you know, the intersection at this point. And it's a shame. It's a shame. You know what I mean? The days of Iwata, the days when we could kind of expect Nintendo to be, like, generally, you know, decent as a company are pretty much just gone. You know what I mean? They really are. They're just gone. And now, like, you know, Nintendo is a corporation like any other one, and they will just do whatever they need to do in the pursuit of money. You know. But, all that being said, Mario Kart looks good. You know, I'm looking forward to playing Mario Kart. I like the idea of doing a big open world Mario Kart. I didn't think I would, but then, you know what, I thought about, like, was it like Need for Speed Underground 2, or I can't remember which, if it was 2 specifically, or if it was a different Need for Speed, which one did it first, that had the same idea, where you had the big open world and you could just, like, you know, start races wherever you want and kind of like set the parameters. And it's a very interesting idea. I like it. You know, I don't think Mario Kart's gonna do something like that. You know, I feel like it'll probably have very set limits on where, like, the starting line is and where the finishing line is. But, you know, it's a neat idea. I like it. It's a change up for Mario Kart. I like all the cool stuff that they seemingly put into it. Like, you can, like, grind rails now, and you can wall jump. That's really fun. Making Mario Kart a little bit more, like, versatile and leaning into, like, you know, interesting new, like, mobility options. Donkey Kong looks like a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to playing that. You know? I love his new design. He looks so, like, cartoony and fun and silly. Hey, don't splash me with water, you dick. How you like this? That's cool. I'll never get over that. They did a really good job with, like, again, making the long blade look really cool. I'm excited for the prospect of games, you know? Because one of the things I was hoping they would do, and it seems like Nintendo hinted at the idea that, like, certain games would be able to access the new hardware, and like be able to get, like, you know, like, increased frame rates, or, you know, better performance, stuff like that. I like that. You know, I hope Animal Crossing can, you know, get a little update so it runs at, you know, a consistent 60, even if you have one too many items on your island and it doesn't drop to friggin' 10 frames a second. Because if there's one game that I feel like shouldn't be like dipping frame rate just because there's too many items on the board, it's Animal Crossing. You know, way to break the immersion. Although, you know, again, there's another. It's like every good thing is just a bad thing. What the fuck is that full priced Switch 2 versions of Switch 1 games? Like, come on. And even that, like, Nintendo had to be Nintendo about it, and it's like, okay, you can get the update if you have the Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pass. It can't just be the normal Switch Online. You know, again, it's like the Switch Online isn't good enough to justify its own value. So they just have to like withhold shit to like justify paying for it. Granted, I will say, like I said, you know, like I've said in the past, compared to the other online services that also kind of just give you like next to nothing, at least it's cheap, you know? It's like, alright, it sucks, but it's $50 a month, which is like, feels like a Harambe Tailclaw. Oh, that's a low rank thing, isn't it? That's a low rank thing, is it not? Large monster field guide. Let's take a look at the Harambe. Obtainable materials. Yeah, it's low rank. If I go to a high rank, I'm not gonna get it. Crud. Well, how do I get a low rank quest? Give me the low rank quest. Can I not do low rank quests anymore? am I stuck? Oh no, here we go. This is low rank, is it not? Yeah, okay. I can do this one. We'll do this one. And this, you know, this will probably take us to the end of the episode. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to get one because I am a game critic / game journo, like, by trade, so I will end up needing one just for work. But it's like, I really just wanted to be happy about this, you know what I mean? I was so excited, and then they got the friggin' Dusk Bloods, and I was like, oh my god, is this Bloodborne? Are they putting, is this a sequel to Bloodborne or a spiritual successor to Bloodborne that's gonna go on Switch 2? Are you friggin' kidding me right now? I just thought it was Bloodborne at first, to be honest. Like, I saw that big clock tower in the bridge, and I'm like, okay, that's Yharnam. I've been through Yharnam enough times to know. And like, it's like, it looks good. Freaking like Elden Ring getting confirmed on the Switch 2, like, that's awesome. You know, I would love to be able to take Elden Ring on the bus. Like, the idea of, you know, like I said, it's hilarious to me because, you know, it's that whole thing where it's like, yeah, getting an updated version of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom that actually runs at 60 frames, you know, when there's more than 2 trees on the screen. Like, that's a neat enough idea. I like that. I like the idea that, like, games can get updated to run better on the new hardware, right? And like I was saying about Animal Crossing, like, this would be a great excuse for Nintendo to, you know, give Animal Crossing a small update. Maybe, like, do all the stupid shit that the annoying fan babies want, you know, add more items and whatnot. Because I guess, like, you know, a couple thousand items wasn't enough. They need more. Guys, no amount of items will be enough to fill the hole in your heart, okay? I did a little, I mean, I did a drawing. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever done. Because I used to, you know, I used to frequent, when I was still on Twitter, and you'd see, like, I used to have the, I used to follow the, wow, that was fast. Wow. Holy shit. That took, like, 2 seconds. Oh, I'm too powerful. I really am Sephiroth. Cloud is gonna walk over here and see this and be like, did Sephiroth do this? And yeah, every time I used to follow the Isabelle Twitter account, and literally like every single time, I think it was the one that got me the most, the one that was like, okay, I need to get off Twitter, was the one I didn't even get it. I didn't even get it. I didn't even get it. It was when the Isabelle Twitter account, which you have to remember is just like a PR account, someone, you know, either working for Nintendo or whatever, is just managing PR. They don't work, you know, they don't work in development. They don't have any, like, you know, any say in this, right? They tweeted about the droughts, or about the heat wave that was happening in the UK at the time, where people were like legitimately dying from the heat, and they tweeted something like, you know, like, hey, like to all our friends in the UK, like, please stay safe, stay inside, you know, drink lots of water, you know, try to stay cool, and like we're all rooting for you, kind of stuff like that, right? I don't even think they used it as a marketing like moment to be like, stay inside and play Animal Crossing. Like, I think they just literally just said stay safe and, like, you know, and whatever. And like almost every comment in the Isabelle Twitter account, like, post for that was like people being like, this game fucking sucks, this game's shit now, update it, Nintendo, update your dead game, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, are you people okay? Like, is it ever gonna be enough for you? And so I came up with this little drawing because it like perfectly like summarized like what the situation was. Literally every single time the Isabelle account tweeted, it was basically like this. And it was just so pathetic. It was just so sad. Okay, I mean, I guess we'll stop here for a sec, and we can come back and try a different monster, because I did not expect to kill that thing in like less than 2 seconds. So, stay safe out there, you guys. Drink lots of water.